big story tonight. HPD issued a rare MAILE Amber Alert today.
You gotta understand something, gang, that MAILE Amber Alerts work.
The boy's mother learned from family members that her ex-boyfriend had struck one of her sons in his face.
They are effective, but I am certainly glad that my day was interrupted so that we could save kids.
Police say after learning new info, this case met the criteria for an alert to be issued. The children were under 17, they were believed to be in danger, and there was sufficient evidence about the abductor or a vehicle involved.
All right, I love you. I love you. Hey everyone, what a day, what a day. So earlier today, I was at work and I got an Amber Alert. Hawaii doesn't usually get Amber Alerts. It's very rare that we do. But when we do, it's kind of heart-clenching because as we know, Amber Alerts always involve children, primarily children who are abducted and are endangered. So it always clenches my heart when I get this alert on my phone and I read it and it's an Amber Alert. Thank God that it doesn't happen in Hawaii all too often. But when it does, it just clenches your heart, especially me being a mom. It just like has a potential to wreck me. I was just like, oh my gosh, I hope these kids are okay. In Hawaii, we have our own Amber Alert. It's called the MAILE Alert. Now, just like Amber is, stands for an acronym, I kind of forgot what Amber stands for. But I know MAILE Alert here in Hawaii also stand for something. And just to give it context, MAILE is also a very popular girl's name in Hawaii. So I know they did that on purpose because it's the Hawaii version of an Amber Alert. And the acronym for MAILE stands for Minor Abducted in Life-Threatening Emergency. So there are certain qualifications that the case needs to confirm before they issue a MAILE Amber Alert. So all it was a link to Twitter X. This right here was the post. And all it was information regarding the kidnapping, if you will. One the age of 11 and the other the age of 10. They are brothers. So somewhere in the communication, they were able to determine that this was a dangerous situation in order to issue the Amber Alert. So even further down the timeline of everything, HPD, Honolulu Police Department, issued a statement and they had this press conference. And here it is right now.
I'm Lieutenant Dina Tamis of the Criminal Investigation Division's Homicide Detail. I just want to explain that I'm the commander of the Homicide Detail that has 4 investigative units under me, which includes the Homicide Detail, Strategic Enforcement Detail, the Missing Persons Detail, and the Cold Case Unit. Today, I would like to discuss the recent missing person investigation. Last night at approximately 11 p.m., a female reported that on the day earlier, Sunday, February 11th, at approximately 11:40 a.m., she allowed her 2 sons and her to go with her ex-boyfriend to Pololo. They left in her 2001 gray Honda Odyssey van, but had not returned. At approximately 7:30 p.m. last night, one of the sons called his mother and said that they were on the way home. During the call, the mother and her ex-boyfriend argued before the call was cut off. Despite repeated calls to his phone, there was no answer. At the time of the initial report, there were no reports of child abuse or imminent danger to the children. Today, at about 10:30 a.m., additional information was discovered. The boy's mother learned from family members that her ex-boyfriend had struck one of her sons in his face. She was very concerned and believed her sons were in danger. Based on this, we decided to activate the MAILE Amber Alert.
Just to remind the public of the activation criteria, okay? The child must be 17 years of age or younger. Okay? There must be sufficient information to indicate that the child has been abducted and is in immediate danger of serious bodily injury or death. Sufficient information is available about the child and the abductor and or the abductor's vehicle. Some people were asking about the use of Twitter, why we use that, or it was implemented into our procedures. X, it follows, using X or Twitter follows national trends that are being used currently by other states. Twitter is the only tested social media format that allows open access to the public, meaning that a person does not have to have an account during an alert activation, Amber Alert activation. Twitter is also able to accommodate the spike in users trying to open the link. Right now, the investigation is ongoing. I would defer to Lieutenant Tamer for further questions.
Right now, detectives are interviewing him. That's all part of our investigation. We are setting up to interview the children, but we wanted them to get checked out at the hospital first. So our investigation is ongoing. At this time, he is not arrested yet, but that may change.
There's a lot of criticism as far as how HPD handled this. And we can go on like Twitter X. So let's go on Twitter X. There's this one guy, his name is Buki-chan, I think. I don't know. Looks like a woman. But she says, "This is extremely unprofessional. Posting an Amber Alert via Twitter." Well, how else are they going to be able to get that information out? Amber Alerts are just alerts that so happen to have a link to the actual information. And Twitter, aka Twitter X, is a great place actually to get information out. Because unlike every other social media, Twitter information travels quickly and easily. I don't know what this girl's beef is when it comes to information on their Twitter X account. Like, why not? And I might add, in that press conference, the reason why they put it on Twitter X is because Twitter X is one of the very few places that you can place information and a whole bunch of people can access it without shutting down the website. So I don't know what Fukubiki Buku-chani I don't know what her issue is. Another comment that we have here from Brandon, the Knicks 808. Waited 48 hours, declared 2 children were missing because of the Godfather kidnapped the boys. That's 2 days head start. And it's possible they no longer in the state. So here's the thing. Brandon is not wrong in that. I mean, he didn't have all the information before he made the statement. Wouldn't you alert everybody as soon as possible? You would be going out and trying to find your own kids. But Brandon didn't know all the information. He didn't know that this was a trusted family friend. Probably not a friend anymore, but it was a trusted family friend. This dude from the past has taken these kids out before, so there was nothing to be alerted about. It happened on a Sunday, but then when he didn't report after a while, things started to get a little sus. As the timeline goes, they got into an argument. So when you get into an argument with someone who has your kids, it's not necessarily such an alerting type of situation. For the police to do anything, there has to be in a certain amount of time before they can take action. That does not mean that the mom did not take action on her own accord. It sounds like she alerted all her friends and family, people who knew this guy, okay? But the police themselves, they're gonna have to wait at least 48 hours before something, gets done. And I don't know why that is, but that's what it is. In addition, they really didn't have a lot of information until this morning. It wasn't until this morning that they found out that he was actually hitting the kids. That's a big piece of the puzzle that wasn't known on Sunday. It probably wasn't even known on Monday until people saw things happen and started to come forward. Police officers generally wait a certain amount because maybe the majority of their cases get resolved within the first 24 hours. There was no evidence or nothing to suggest that they were indeed endangered until he got really aggressive and started hitting one of the kids. And because they just knew about it today, they were very quick, in my opinion. HPD was very quick to issue the Amber Alert. But to Brandon's defense, not knowing all this information and not knowing what transpired, I kind of agree. Brandon is probably a father. He probably has kids and he probably is like, what the heck, There's this guy, Ben 808 from the 610. Okay, so he's from Hawaii, but resides in, 610. Ben from the 610. Please send via text message. Not everyone in Hawaii uses X, formerly Twitter. Here's the thing, Ben. Not everyone has to have a Twitter account to access information on X. They just have to click on the link and the information will be there. Now, if you want to comment and like and retweet it, then yes, you need an account. But you don't need a Twitter account to access it right there. Further, Amber Alerts are not pages or even blurbs of the details. Amber Alerts are there just to sound the siren and give a loud alert, and then there's a link that gives you more information. HPD was right in their assessment when they said that Twitter is really the best place in this moment in time to get information out. Here is another comment that I have a lot of thoughts on. It says from High XL, Kaho 69. That gave some major PTSD from the false missile alert. Then reading it, my head jumped in my throat and I'm sick to my stomach. I hope these boys are found unharmed. I'm thinking she's alluding to the fact that why do we need to have an alert like this? This already gives me false missile alert vibes. It's just giving me so much anxiety. And then she just kind of ends it, in a very hopeful manner. I hope these boys are found unharmed. Apparently a lot of people on Twitter, they have that same vibe, like, oh my God, why did you have to disrupt my day? Isn't that the whole goal of a MAILE Amber Alert? It's to get you to look at your phone, albeit maybe you're thinking oh no, missile alert. It's to get you to look at your phone and read some information so that you are aware. Would you be concerned at all if it disrupted the lives of other people? If this information put into the right hands could potentially turn a case around and help you find that precious missing child that you so love and care about, would that mean anything? Yeah, sure. That alert was a bit overbearing. It's okay. We learned some important information and we were able to set aside that so that we could focus on being alert and aware that there are 2 children who need our help. This is so worth it. This is children we're talking about. Hey everyone, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you found this video to be useful and informative, hit the subscribe button, or if you're on Rumble, you can hit the follow button to ensure that you will be receiving more of my content. And share this video with family and friends who may need to know how the Amber system or the MAILE Amber system in Hawaii works so that we can ensure that we find children swiftly, quickly, and safely. Until next time, aloha and mahalo.